Welcome everyone for joining this We Are What We Eat webinar. I'd like to ask how many of you here have the problem with food cravings or overeating? What do you think are the reasons you keep thinking about food? And what are the reasons that you can't stop sometimes? Most people think that overeating or food craving is due to a lack of self-control or discipline. However, from my extensive work with people with weight loss, I would say that it's not that simple. Some people believe that our cravings indicate what is lacking or missing in our diet, connecting cravings to certain nutritional deficiencies, claiming that cravings are our body's way of telling us what we need. For example, they say that if you are craving for chocolate, you might have magnesium deficiency. And what about people who crave for potato chips and popcorn? Do you think that they have deficiency in sodium? I will leave you to think about this. And I say it is definitely not the whole story. Did you know how many people have the craving problem? Just give a guess. A study showed that 97% of women and 68% of men have experienced food cravings in their life. It is from a study from the States published in the journal Appetite, having this report. So what do you think? Why so many people have experienced these food cravings? What are all these about? And why is it so common? Let's look at how we are able to end the bad relationship with food. But before I get into this topic, I'd like to introduce myself. So I'm Sandy. I'm originally from Hong Kong. I'm a brain trainer. You can call me a mind transformer. I have been worked as a clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist and life coach for a few years in Brisbane. I help people to master their mind and achieve any goals they want and maintain the best state of their mind. I specialize in weight loss. Most of my clients are people who want to lose weight. They want to deal with their anxiety, sleep problems, trauma, eating disorder, personal development, and more. The modalities that I use include clinical hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, havening that you might not have heard about, which is a very powerful psychosensory technique, especially dealing with trauma, phobia. It's really powerful. I also use NLP coaching, so I integrate all these techniques, modalities to help my clients according to their needs. You can see I got really good results with my clients, very good feedback that they give me. So you can check my website. You can see some of my clients giving the feedback after they had a service with me. After they came to have a service. So I have been organizing lots of habit control seminars, some meditation workshops in corporates, personal development seminar. So yeah, I do love sharing my knowledge with the public. Today we'll have few things that we'll talk about. We'll cover what are food cravings, the 5 factors that contribute to food cravings, understand the unconscious motives behind, how to handle cravings when it comes along, the keys of successful habit change, and how hypnotherapy works for weight management. At the end, I'll share 1 or 2 case studies from my weight loss clients. Are you ready? So, what have you been asking yourself when you have the problem of food cravings? Are you asking, why can't I stop overindulging food or alcohol? Or why can't I stop binging on certain food? or control what I eat or drink at nighttime. So the question that you can ask further is, what do you use food for unconsciously? And not only asking, why can't I? You can start asking, how can I? How can I stop? So there are better questions that you can ask so that you can find out the best solution. And the mind will help you to find the answers from now on. So some people, as you can see, they do they do actually find themselves lack of control and even have some secretive behavior happening at nighttime, wanting to find sugary food to eat, even they feel full after dinner. I will explain more to you psychologically in a psychology aspect what is actually happening. You might want to identify your cravings first. What are your cravings like in terms of food, alcohol, or other drinks? How do you feel if you don't eat the food or drink the alcohol that you crave as quickly that you want to? And does the cravings go away on its own if you don't eat the food or drink the alcohol? If not, how do you do about it? And how would you describe your relationship with food or alcohol compared to your relationship with yourself and with other people? Let's look at the difference between cravings and hunger. So as you can see, that cravings is something that not about the stomach. When we are able to identify true hunger, it is the stomach giving you some signals, while cravings actually is an emotional state that gives you the urge to seek out and consume a particular food or drink. And you know the feeling, no matter what you eat, you are not satisfied until you eat that particular snack or specific sugary food that you crave for. In fact, research shows that cravings have really less to do with biology and more to do with psychology. So our brain is seeking for pleasure and reward when you have the craving. Let's look at what is happening in your brain when you experience food cravings. The MRIs show that when people have cravings, there are certain parts of the brain that involved, including the hippocampus here, the caudate, insula. They are identical to those involved in drug addiction, believe it or not. The hippocampus is important for memory, which helps reinforce the reward-seeking behavior that causes us to crave. And the caudate also plays a role in these reward mechanisms, and it helps us to form habits, including food-related ones. The insula contributes to the emotional connection between food and cravings. So you can imagine breaking these habits can be like kicking a drug addiction. What are the 5 factors that contribute to food cravings? First, food as your only pleasure. Are you having other pleasure in life? For example, when you finish work, what do you do? What gives you pleasure? Is that only food, or do you have something that you enjoy? You know, eating sugars and fats release opioids in our brains. When you eat ice cream and potato chips, you feel the calming and soothing effects. Second, it is what are the second factors that contribute to food cravings is that when you are using food to avoid difficult feelings. Most people don't like mad, sad, rejected, boredom. So a lot of them would use food as a temporary relief from many of the life challenges. And the third factor is poor self-image. Do you hate your body and how do you look at yourself? Hating your body is one of the biggest factors in emotional eating. And many people tell me that they will only stop hating their body after they reach their ideal goal weight. And I say to them that you will never reach your ideal weight if you don't love your body. To stop the emotional eating cycle. The next factor is physiology. Are you too tired or too hungry? If you're too tired or too hungry, especially when you finish work, it will only leave yourself vulnerable to emotional eating. And when your body is hungry or tired, your brain will send strong message that telling you that you need to eat now. And it will become so hard for you to fight off the cravings or urges. Another factor, which is called the unconditioned response, unconditioned pattern. So look at this, when you have an urge, you're thinking about, what should I eat? You start to think about your favorite food, the taste, the smell, the texture, or the taste of the alcohol, whatever it is. And then your mind perceives that, that food or that alcohol have been giving me reward or pleasure. It gives you a wonderful, relaxed feeling. So after you have done it for 2-3 times, your mind has learned to use this to relieve your stress. And it formed a craving response like here. So every time you feel you have an urge, you feel tired, you have emotional feeling, you feel too hungry or certain type of difficult feelings, your mind start to help you to release the stress and create this craving response. It happens so quickly, it can be within 1 or 2 seconds without even your thinking. So now, if you want to stop this pattern, we need to interrupt this by building the awareness so that we can engage with the thinking mind and form a new behavior. I'll explain to you more how actually we can interrupt the pattern. Why bad habits are so hard to change? Habits is formed at our subconscious feeling mind at least 100 million years ago. It is actually survival based, and it got the automatic programs to relieve stress immediately if consciously unaware. So if you're not relieving stress healthily yourself, then your subconscious mind is doing it for you. Like you are having your chocolate without even your thinking. So if you look at this, you can tell that 90% or even more than that, the habit is formed in the deepest part of the mind, which we call the subconscious mind. In here, we form the beliefs, our values, and all the long-term memories are stored there, which control our habits. That's why if we are trying to use our logic, our critical thinking, our willpower to make a change, it won't be that easy because the subconscious mind has a bigger influence. The subconscious mind, you can tell, it is the boss instead of this part of the mind. So let's understand what is the unconscious motives behind everything. If we dig further, you can think about, have you been told that you're not good enough? Have you been told that you're fat or chubby? Have you been told that you can't be slim? We have a lot of feedback from other people. These have shaped and influenced our self-esteem. And with this, self-image, we will affect, it will contribute to our food cravings. What else? Were you being deprived of certain food? Have your parents been deprived you from having certain sugary food, saying to you that no, you can't eat this, you can't eat that? And when you become an adult, you are free. So you start to eat more, buy as much as you want, and it actually become a craving habit for you. What else? Have you been asked to not leave food on the plate when you were young? And have you been told to finish eating quickly? All these have been stored in the subconscious part of the mind when you were very young. And these can be contributed to the food craving or overeating. Let's look at more unconscious motives behind. What is the love? Are you having the love that you want? Are you craving for true happiness? And are you actually deep down craving for approval from others, acceptance from others, security, worthiness, fulfillment, freedom, connection, bonding? Ask yourself, when was the first time you associate certain food with feeling of love, acceptance, secure, and comfort? Do you remember a time like this when you were young? I'm sure we all do, and especially when we grown up, we have lots of challenges in life, and lots of time we do wanting for love from others, and we want all these deep down feelings, and if we can't get it from the real world, we might be craving it from food. How do you handle cravings when it come along? So when you look at this picture, you can see what is actually happening is the conflicts between the feeling mind and the thinking mind. The feeling mind, which we refer to the subconscious, while the thinking mind, we are referring to the conscious mind. Of course, cravings can come along if your thinking mind is not as strong. And as I mentioned earlier, the subconscious mind is the boss. It is always having more impact than the thinking mind because the feeling mind is the strongest force. The subconscious mind is making a lot of decisions for us which you're not even aware of. So how to handle cravings when it come along? So there are studies show that engaging in memory activities can help. So because that cravings use working memories, especially the part of the brain involved in sight and smells. So if you're able to visualize a vivid picture, such as a detailed rainbow, use that same working memory, and you can be seeing some results for reducing cravings. You can try that. And the next thing is that, are you focusing on the instant pleasure when you have chocolate or the chips? Of course you have pleasure, but it will also give you long-term pain, which you start to feel angry about yourself, feel guilty, feel hopeless about not able to lose weight. So if you want to lose weight, of course, if you're able to focusing on your long-term pleasure, then you'll feel the long-term accomplishment and you're able to forget about the chips or chocolate. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a very important diagram that you can understand. We call it cognitive behavioral therapy, we incorporate the feeling mind, which is largely subconscious, with the thinking mind as well. So in order for stop the cravings, so this is the condition pattern we mentioned earlier. If we want to stop this craving response, then we need to take back the control, engage the thinking mind. Of course, we need to build a new response set. For example, you have a better thought pattern saying, I can eat or drink anytime, but I just choose not to because I love to lose weight. I like to feel good about myself. I love to feel good about my body. And you can also have some new activities when you finish work. For example, when you actually wanting to have some happy moments, you can choose to have a chat with your friend on the phone, have a chat with your with the people who you care. So it gives you a happy, good feeling, right? And it helps you to overcome overeating, overcome binge eating or drinking. Of course, this has to be repetitive. In order for to take back the control, we need to override the old pattern. This old pattern needs to be override in order for having a new behavior that you no longer need food or drink for to be happy or having fun. So the keys of success for habit change include developing the awareness. The more mindful you are, the more aware of what's going on inside your body, inside your stomach, inside your brain. And so you become more aware of yourself. And second, you need to interrupt conditioned pattern, which is largely subconscious. So in order to interrupt the subconscious pattern, we need to have a lot of mental rehearsal. Third, we need to able to identify what could be the core belief or unhelpful belief that have been formed a long time ago, which have been influencing you until now. For example, you feel I'm not good enough, I can't be successful in weight loss. So all these core beliefs, we need to find out and change it. What if you can have the freedom from thinking about food all the time? And what if you can overcome cravings, no longer have any association between eating sugary food with happiness or comfort? And without ever feeling deprived or restricted? And what if you can not only change your weight, shape, and size, but also your relationship with food so that you can be in control rather than letting the food control you? What if you can change how you react with food and condition your mind to feel indifference to food and feeling happy about the way you feel and only eat healthy and real food? How good is that? So how to do that? How to regain your freedom and power? Researchers show that people who have used hypnosis have lost more than 2 times weight as those who just diet without any therapy, without any hypnotherapy. And for women who have underwent behavioral therapy, they have lost weight, they have improved their eating habits, and improved their body image. And hypnosis can also help regulate the release of peptides that control how hungry and full you feel. That is all the researches that have been showing us. So how much do you know about hypnosis? Is that just putting you to sleep? There are so many misunderstandings about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and I'll explain to you more how actually it works. Lots of celebrities or successful people really love hypnosis. Why? Because they understand what it is. Because they know that hypnosis is purely mind training. They are able to lose weight very successfully and able to overcome overeating or binge eating. So how hypnotherapy works? We are able to develop a slim mindset because we are changing the weight, we are reducing weight by changing our mindset. We can regulate a sensible amount of food that you eat with the wisdom of the power of your subconscious. And also, hypnotherapy is really good because you are able to feel satisfied with smaller portions. For some people who have been experiencing overeating, there is one technique which called gastric banding hypnosis that is really good. So we can make your mind believe that you now have only a smaller size of the stomach, just like the size of your feet. So when you have this size of your stomach, you will be able to stop when you feel full. How good is that? And second, hypnosis actually is, simply put it, taking you to a very relaxed and calm, focused state. At that state, you are highly receptive and suggestible. We are bypassing your critical thoughts and talking to your subconscious part, which is your boss. That's why we can make changes easily. At that stage, you are at your alpha brainwave. When you are very calm, when you're very peaceful, in that state, it's like a meditative state that you no longer have any stress, you no longer have any worries, and you just focus in what we're doing. We are giving you the suggestions that you want. And so it is very different from the normal brainwave, which is the beta brainwave that where we are now. In that brainwave, we are quite anxious, stressed, and full of worries. So we always want to get to the alpha brainwave. So how hypnotherapy works, third, is that we can find out the subconscious roadblocks. We might not know the core reason, what is the root cause of why you started the distorted relationship with food, why you crave for sugary food at a subconscious level. So we are able to find out when, where, how you started this safety behavior. So we can regress you to the past, finding out what could be the events that have been formed your negative core belief. So when we take you back to the past, you can find when and why and how you got the abnormal, unhealthy, distorted relationship with food. And the other one is that we are able to resolve inner conflicts with hypnosis, negotiating with different parts of the mind, which creates the conflicts that stop you from losing weight. So usually when people have conflicts in mind, they always have a voice at the back of the head saying, I just want this. I don't bother anymore. I don't bother losing weight. I just give up. All the voices at the back of their mind, at the back of the head, is contradicting with their desire for losing weight. So we can actually resolve the conflicts. And a lot of people, there are some subconscious roadblocks about they actually keep their weight because they have a secondary gain out from it. So we are able to resolve that with different parts of the mind. So, and we can also change the subconscious pattern. As we said, we use the cognitive behavioral therapy, replacing the chosen responses, especially when you need to deal with stress and not using food at all. We can also motivate yourself to love exercise, command your body to go to exercise, loving the sweat, loving the achievement that you have made, instead of, I'm just too tired, I don't want to go for exercise. So hypnotherapy can change the feeling that you associate anything with. associate good feelings with exercise, associate good feelings with weight loss. You will no longer feel, it's such an effort, it's such a pain to not to have the sugary food, for example. So we are actually forming new response. We are forming new association in the brain, which is really powerful. We can treat the whole mind. We can change emotions, behaviors. We can remove mental blockages. We can take back the control over responses to triggers. One of my clients, Anne, he came to me quite a while ago. He had the problem of overdrinking. Every night he drank few glasses of wet wine, which he found that he can't stop it. He couldn't stop it. And at the third session, we actually took him back to the past and find out why he actually used alcohol to keep him going. There should be some secondary gain of it. So we find out that the very first time when he started to overdrink was that when his brother died. So consciously he thinks that there's no more problem anymore. He no longer actually misses his brother much, but subconsciously that memory he has been holding on to that memory and feeling pain about losing his brother, and he has been using alcohol to overcome that period of time, and that has been affecting him until now. And yeah, that is one of the case. And the other people who also came to see me for weight loss, they are able to lose weight very successfully, and most of them still listening to the audio that I provide for them throughout the session, because that gives the repetition. It makes repetition in the neuron. I would suggest that a 7 weeks program for weight reduction. It is highly effective, and we start with visualization. We can have this mental rehearsal, imagining that you feel awesome. You feel awesome when you actually see yourself get to this ideal weight. The second session, we work on breaking the old pattern. We use the cognitive behavioral therapy, which I mentioned earlier. You will be able to interrupt the conditioned pattern. The third session, we get to the root cause of the eating habits and address them through regression, which is absolutely powerful and mind-blowing. The fourth session, we use the gastric banding hypnosis for some people who have problem with overeating, or for people who have some conflicts between the conscious mind and subconscious mind. We use the past therapy. So I have different types of techniques to use to help you to control the weight. The fifth session, we reinforce the healthy mindset, so that you can be able to regulate how your healthy eating style could be. The sixth session, we build self-esteem, promote self-confidence. You can feel good about yourself, building the sense of security and the self-belief that you are able to lose weight. For some people who have lack of motivation to exercise, we can help you with that as well. And for some other people, they might have undergone some significant event in their life. So we need to cure the emotional disturbance and also trauma. So if we actually don't treat the trauma, it can be something that holds you back from your weight loss goal. Yeah, so that is definitely very important to treat. Even you think that it's not really relevant, but it's usually there's the underlying root cause of it. Yeah, some people might experience anxiety, pain. We can also treat that. That will be helping you to lose weight as well, because there are so many layers to peel when it comes to weight loss. What makes this program successful? First of all, is the belief. If you have a strong belief and strong desire to make a change, then you can easily reach your ideal weight and stop overeating. Second is that we need to program the mind, program the brain so that you have the right mindset. Third is that we need to rewire the brain by repetition. You can override the old pattern. Lastly, we need to change the negative self-talk to be positive, so that each and every day you hypnotize yourself to become the person that you can be. Let me recap what we have talked about. I would put it in a nutshell, 8 key factors to stop cravings or overeating. First, we need to develop awareness, mindfulness. Being mindful every time whenever you are putting something in the mouth, or even before that. Become aware of, are you really feeling hungry, or it's just a craving response. Second is identifying the core belief or unhelpful beliefs. Third, choose new responses before the urges or the cravings come. Fourth, start new activities that give you pleasure or rewards instead of using food. 5 is facing and overcoming your life challenges. No matter you are having challenges in relationship, career, whatever it is, if you're able to face it, overcome it, then you will no longer use food to deal with that problem. 6 is respecting your body, appreciating your true self. You don't have to wait until you reach your ideal goal, your ideal weight goal, to respect your body. You can start respecting your body now. 7 is that you need to have enough rest so that you don't leave your body vulnerable to eat when you feel tired. Lastly, don't wait until you are too hungry to eat. Same thing, it will be too hard for you to fight off the cravings or urges when you eat too late. You will just overeat easily, right? So that's all for today. Do you have any questions at all? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me through calling me or texting me with this number. Each week I offer free consultation for with limited spots. You can feel free to call me anytime. I can in this consultation, I will be planning out a strategy which fits you. So as I said, everyone will be having tailor-made sessions. So I will be tailor-made sessions for you which suits your need. So thank you very much for coming today, listening to this webinar. I hope you gain something out of it and start trying all the techniques I share with you. So thank you and see you again soon.